Hey everyone, in this series of videos we've been noticing that when you read the Gospels, they often toss in obscure historical details and still nail the hard stuff. This tells us that the writers knew their stuff, they were trying to get it right, and that they were close up to the facts. Make sure you check out the playlist in order to catch up. But what about when the critics say that the Gospels get it wrong? Let's dive into this quirky nugget from Mark 7:31. It reads, Jesus returned from the region of Tyre and went through Sidon to the Sea of Galilee in the region of the Decapolis. That's a bit of a head-scratching move because Sidon is northeast of Tyre, while the Sea of Galilee is southeast. So why take the roundabout route to go north when he could just go south? Some scholars argue that this shows that, quote, the evangelist was not directly acquainted with Palestine. Basically, they think Mark made a major goof up. But these critics are definitely jumping to conclusions. Look at a topographical map and you'll notice a mountain, Mount Meron, standing about 3/4 of a mile high between Tyre and the Sea of Galilee. There's a pass from Sidon that cuts through the mountains into the Jordan River Valley, providing a water source for people traveling to Galilee. And let's be real, fresh water was crucial for long treks down to Galilee. It's not like there was a local convenience store handy to grab a bottle of water. So rather than showing the evangelist's lack of knowledge about Palestinian geography, this route actually highlights his deep familiarity with the region. Bottom line, before you call out a first century author for not knowing the terrain, double check your own facts. How about taking a look at a topographical map instead of just skimming over a flat one next time? In a well-known book on supposed errors in the Gospels, one famous critic makes a big error of his own when he claims that Mark 7:3 indicates that all the Pharisees and all the Jews wash their hands before eating so as to observe the tradition of the elders. This is not true. Most Jews did not engage in this ritual. He references passages like Exodus 30:18 through 21, 40:30 through 32, and Leviticus 21 through 16, where only the priests need to wash their hands. But here's the real question. Were the Jews of Jesus' time influenced by the Pharisees, practicing this ritual even though the law didn't require it? Let's dig into some Jewish sources. First, we got a letter from an Alexandrian Jew named Aristeas of Memora from the 2nd or 3rd century BC, where he's writing to his brother and says, as is the custom of all the Jews, they wash their hands in the sea and pray to God. Then there's a Jewish philosopher, Philo of Alexandria, writing at around 20 to 50 AD, who writes about how the law requires washing and purifying yourself after touching a dead body. Susan Haber, a scholar of Judaism, notes that the, quote, centrality of the impurity to the Jewish life in the Second Temple period is supported by archaeological evidence. She points to the discovery of a mikvah, which is a ritual bath, in the range of locations like Gamla, Sepphoris, Rhodium, and Masada, suggesting that purification wasn't just for people approaching the temple, but was a common practice for all kinds of Jews in Palestine. The critics' take here is just way off the mark. Modern archaeology and other texts outside of the Bible prove this scholar wrong. Let's dive into another funky bit from Luke 3:1. And Herod, being the tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip, tetrarch of the region of Iturea and Trachonitis, and Lysanias, tetrarch of Abilene. Sounds like a straightforward timeline, right? But wait, hold on, because Josephus tells us that Lysanias was actually running the show in Abila around 40 to 36 BC. So does Luke have his dates way screwed up here? Needless to say, a big-name 19th century critic argued that Luke totally goofed up, but not so fast. Just because Luke and Josephus both mention a Lysanias ruling over Abilene doesn't mean that they're talking about the same dude. There's actually this inscription found on a temple from Tiberius' time, around 14 to 29 AD, that names a Lysanias as the tetrarch of Abila, exactly as Luke said. Check out this cool find. The temple inscription at Abila reads, "For the salvation of the august lords and all of their household, Nymphaeus, freedman of Eagle Lysanias tetrarch, established this street and other things." So what's the big deal about this Abila inscription? The phrase august lords refers to the Emperor Tiberius and Livia, his predecessor Augustus's widow. This title nails down the date of the inscription to between 14 AD, when Tiberius took over, and 29 when Livia passed away. Long story short, there was a Lysanias ruling in Abilene at around 27 AD, just like Luke said. Looks like Luke got it right. The moral of the story here is that when we're diving into history, we need to keep in mind that there just might be more than one person with the same name. So critics shouldn't have jumped the gun and assumed that Luke got it wrong. This is just a small taste of when critics thought they had the evangelists all figured out as goofballs, only to end up with egg on their face. I'll be diving into more supposed historical errors in upcoming videos at some point, but for now, I just want to stress that the gospel authors clearly knew their stuff. Don't forget to check out the playlist and be sure to subscribe for more historical nuggets like these, and thanks for watching.